I guess we're live.
I think we're live.
Right.
My thing is not working very well. There's some drag on this end.
Yeah, I definitely got some drag on my end, so I didn't know if it was me or what was going on there. But Dallas, welcome to the show again. Glad to have you on.
Good to be back.
Thanks for hanging out with us again.
Of course, yeah. Thanks for having me.
Well, it sounds like you had a busy last month. I guess it's still rolling.
Yeah. Busy month, and we've all been sick and recovering, and I mean it's been pretty crazy. And yeah, we have a busy one coming up too, so we're excited about it.
Well, you want to talk about? I guess you played the Whiskey Go-Go. How was that experience?
Yeah, that was awesome. Staff was really cool to us. They really took good care of us. It was a cool place to be with all the history and stuff there. So like Def Leppard was there like a month or so before us. It was pretty crazy. Wow. But yeah, I mean the legendary people that have been through that venue. So it was a fun show. We played with Powerman 5000 and a bunch of other cool bands, and it was cool to see our name in the marquee and all that good stuff. So it was a fun time.
Yeah, that place definitely has some history, and a lot of legendary bands have been through there. That's for damn sure. So
yeah, I think most bands have probably been through there at this point.
Yeah, and it's awesome to see a place of that with that much history still open and bands still rolling through and being able to play there.
Like pretty much every night. We spent a lot of time. The way our travel schedule worked was we had to check out of our hotel at 11. And then we didn't have anywhere to go, and we had all of our gear. So we just asked the Whiskey if we could just go and drop our stuff off at like 11 a.m. They were like, yeah, sure, come on by. So we just went by and ended up spending the whole day there. So we were just hanging out with all the, crew and all the guys that worked there and talking to them and stuff. But they let us. We just spent the whole day there from 11 a.m. till we played and then moved on later that evening. So it was super fun. We went up and down the Sunset Strip. We did the whole kind of experience. We got on some of those Lime scooters and we were flying through the Sunset Strip. I don't think you're supposed to ride those on sidewalks, but we didn't know that.
Yeah, hold my beer. Watch this.
Yeah.
Oh, you were full speed. So as fast as those things will go.
Dwight, the combination of you guys and Powerman 5000 is just upset in my head. I'm trying to get my head around that right now. So cool, but odd.
It's not so much about like who fits the bill. It's like that's the day we were there. So it was like, can we play this day? Whatever you got. They were like, yeah, sure, come on in. So, but the bill was all over the place. There was a ton of different. There was like 7 bands, and they were all over the place. So they were pretty fun.
Very cool.
They were definitely not ready for what we do. That's for sure. They were expecting, I think, just some local yokel supports, and they did not get that from us.
That's cool.
So we've all been talking. Our local airport was doing some really deep discount. They're connecting to Charlotte now, so we've been talking about, gosh, we need to get down there and see you guys. I'm hoping for an acoustic show personally, because I think that's where I can coerce my wife to do, and she'll actually enjoy it rather than
yeah.
Like
those are pretty fun. Yeah, we had one of those Friday, and then we have 2 more coming up before we go to the UK. But they were, those are always kind of fun. They're interesting because it's hard to like most people don't care that we're there for starters, but it's kind of hard to explain, and you don't want to really, but it's hard to like explain to people like you're not really seeing the whole package here. Like they just hear us doing a bunch of covers, and they're like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. A couple guys doing covers, but we still have fun doing it.
Well, I mean, so I've listened to your acoustic stuff on here enough
Mhm.
Then I'm
Yeah.
going, I don't want to hear covers. I want to hear that.
Yep. We gotta fill 3 hours though, so can't play Long
Fair
Road
enough.
50 times.
Well,
I wish I could.
for what it's worth, I've filled 3 hours with that several different times with one in the player up and so anyway.
That's awesome. Yeah, you guys aren't too far to even drive, probably. Where at again?
I think
We're up in
Shenandoah Valley.
up in Virginia. So
about 5
Yeah, I knew
hours.
Virginia. Oh, 5 hours.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess you got to come through all of North Carolina and stuff. But
Yeah, I've got a buddy that plays some acoustic stuff down around Clemson and Greenville, and I was trying to get him to come up when you shot the video for Down to Fight. So I guess that's the question you guys have. You want to hit him up with that?
Yeah, I guess what was the whole writing process and I guess the idea and the video and everything for the new song Down to the Fight?
yeah, we've had that song floating around for a little while now, and I just wanted something like aggressive and chaotic for the video. So we had that idea for a bunch of extras, and it kind of kept taking shape as we got into the filming process. But yeah, we wanted to just do a bunch of crazy stuff. Some of it didn't make it in. We broke a TV at a gig like a couple weeks before this video, so we had to replace that TV, and then we talked him into just giving us the broken one, and we were going to smash it with an axe and all this stuff, but we kind of forgot to do it because we got busy doing other stuff. But we still chainsawed through a flaming couch. So that was pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's Knuckle style.
Yeah,
Yes.
that pyre was massive too. There was a moment where everybody looked around like we might have to call somebody.
Yeah.
You know you're having a good time.
It was like up in the trees and stuff.
Oh wow.
Yeah, West Virginia
cool.
University in Charlotte, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So before you came on and before we hit the live button, so Hop and I were roommates about 25 years ago, and Chris was with us a good bit. And it was 5 of us in the house. We lived in this big old farmhouse, and we could have shot videos like that because a couple of the guys that lived there were in a band. But thank God we don't have videos of most of what went on at that point.
Probably a good thing.
Very good. Very good. So yes,
Yeah.
nicely done with it.
Yeah,
What's
this
been
was
the reaction?
do what?
What's been the reaction? It looked like you got some massive traction early on with the video.
Yeah, it seems like everyone seems to have liked it so far. We have a marketing campaign that's kind of starting this week, so it hasn't really like fully ramped up yet. But everything so far seems to be pretty good. We have lots of good feedback, and so that's good to hear for sure.
Okay, so we've got a Facebook user that asked us to introduce you, and shame on me, shame on you, String, shame on Hop for not doing this.
Yeah.
Guys, we feel like we're old friends with Dallas Dwight. He plays guitar, lead guitar, does a lot of the mixing, producing for the LA Maybe. They're out of Charlotte. We recently got autographed copies of Dirty Damn Tricks Deluxe Edition, and I think they've got CD. There's another one, so we're groupies right now. I don't flash or anything, Dwight. Just we'll keep it clean and whatnot. But just some fantastic stuff. So we played a clip as we came on screen of their newest video, Down to Fight. My goodness, if you're going to check out When I'm Gone or Oh Sugar or Mr. Danger or whatever. And gosh, I remember last time, Dwight, you said something about people compare you to AC/DC, and they clearly didn't listen long enough to hear you harmonize.
Yeah, probably in less than 40 seconds of song one. Yeah.
Yes. And that was a comment I shared one of the clips with my son's father-in-law yesterday, and he's like, "That kind of sounds like," and I said, "Until right here, and then it's gone. It no longer sounds like it." He's like, "Yeah, you're right."
Yeah, but also I harken back to that analogy. It's like saying you play basketball like Michael Jordan. It's like, thanks. Like, okay.
This is true.
If we can sound like one of the greatest bands of all time, like sure, give us some of that money. Let's do that.
Yeah.
That is right.
Take some of their money too.
Definitely
There's
nothing
plenty
wrong
of
with
that.
that. So you guys have just came off of the Kiss cruise. Y'all were on the second week, correct?
Yep, we were on week 2. Yeah, it was insane. It was so fun.
Yeah, it looked like
Have
there was
you
a lot of.
Have you guys ever done a Kiss cruise or something like that? I feel like that'd be right up your alley.
It would be, and I haven't done it yet. We've kind of talked about it. Hopper and I have said, we probably like to do one. We just not gotten to it yet. That's the sad reality of it.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was a thing until this year. So that's
Oh, really?
That's how out of the loop I am. But yeah, it was super awesome. I mean, we had so many good stories and such a good time on that boat. So it was so fun.
And that one had Black Label Society on there, so I'm sure Zach was up to his no good as usual.
Yeah, he was around. He loved a shirt Driz has that says "What's up, fuckers." Zach just comes in and just goes, "Oh, what's up, fuckers? You fuck!" Like he loved the shirt so much.
Yeah,
Sebastian Bach was there, Richie Kotzen, Vixen, tons of people. So it was really fun to have these different kind of moments with each of these artists. Sebastian Bach pulled Goliath up on stage, and they did monkey business together and stuff. So there was he really liked us, and his wife and son really liked us. We met a bunch of really cool people. Everywhere we turned, we talked to someone, don't know who you're talking to, just some lady. She just seems like a normal lady, and then you find out she's worked with Doc McGee for 40 years, and she's managed all of the biggest bands you've ever heard of. Yeah. So we just ended up hanging out with her all week. So she was awesome. And you talk to someone else, just seems like some guy being nice, coming up saying good show. You find out he owns the Roxy or the Fox Theater in LA.
Wow.
And that's cool. Other people, book the entertainment at Sturgis, and just everywhere you turn on that boat, somebody is doing something, for the music industry.
So it's good elbows to be rubbing up against for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It was super fun. Tom Zutot saw our set and then Instagrammed us after to talk about it. He's the guy, if you don't know who he is, he's the A&R rep for Geffen Records back in the day who signed Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue, all sorts of people. So I've read every book on Guns N' Roses ever written. So as soon as I saw his name pop up, I was like, "Ooh, yeah, of course I know who that is."
Yeah.
So I guess that was as cool as the boat thing seems. I was more excited about you guys for that specifically, and that was going to be a question. What was the exposure like? I mean, it'd be fun to be on the boat and see a bunch of bands, but the exposure, what I was hoping to hear about.
Yeah, we were definitely there. We were definitely there to fulfill a purpose. But we played 3 shows, and we were there for 4 or 5 days, so we had plenty of time off to do other stuff. But we had autograph signing, all sorts of cool stuff, walking down the halls of the boat, everywhere you turn, somebody stopping you to say, great set, love this, love that. So it was really fun. Yeah, it was really awesome. Of course, you're kind of overshadowed though, as soon as Sebastian walks up behind you, everybody's like, get out of my way, get out of my way. So it was pretty amazing to be around that level of fame, especially the Kiss guys, although they stay pretty much in their bubble. But the other artists, Zakk Wylde and all them, they were kind of in our area a little more. But it was crazy to see that level of fame. I mean, we're standing in the artist area watching shows, and Paul Stanley's standing right next to me, and we're all just kind of watching whatever band is playing at the time. I think it was Richie Kotzen or something like that. And I look over behind Paul, and there's the fence where people can't come in, and there's just people just hanging over it, looking at him, like sign this, that kind of thing. It's just kind of like, dude, you guys gotta. You're adults, chill out.
There's that first line in the song by Jacko again, right, guys?
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Just about every time we're on a show like this, I quote from "I Stand Alone," the phrase that says, "Don't like my hair. Look at me and shake your head. Don't like my hair. You're so misled. I should like you." So
yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, Kiss fans they're definitely the Kiss Army for sure. It was really, really cool to be around a boat full of people. It's not like any other cruise where you don't know if anyone likes what you like, but on the Kiss cruise, anyone walks in the elevator, you just go Kiss Cruise, and everybody just goes nuts, and you just make best friends right away. So it's like, and we're walking around with artist lanyards and everything, so people are stopping us like, who are you? So it was really fun to kind of get into that zone.
So is that something that you would want to do again, or would you look into like the Shiprocked or something like that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we'll do anything. It's not we'll do whatever. It's not about us picking and choosing. Like, whatever we get the opportunity to do, we'll definitely do.
Amen to that.
Yeah, we love it.
I'm gonna touch on something. We interviewed Jeff was it Rhodes, I think.
Yeah, Jeff
And
Rhodes.
he was talking about how frustrating it was, how you had to pay to get on bills and, you know, selling tickets and stuff. Talking about just getting gigs in general, how frustrating it was nowadays compared to what it was 20. I mean, have you run across that any?
I don't know why. I think it's always been that way. I don't know why. I don't know that anything's changed like that. Buy-ons have always been a thing, as far as I know. But yeah, it just depends. We have sometimes we'll hear about bands that kind of seemingly pop up out of nowhere, and everyone's talking about. And we've always been like, why them? Like they don't seem to be that good. You know, some of them are good, but some of them are not that good. So why all of a sudden do we know? We've figured it out through, you know, working with music business people now who know a lot of these people. It's always money's the answer. If you ever see a band that you're like, how did they get so big? So it's money.
All right,
So
gotcha.
they have an investor, they have rich parents, they have a lot of money themselves, maybe whatever it is, but somebody's paying for radio campaigns and marketing and this and that, or they have a label backing, and that's what a label does. They pay for all that stuff. So
Yeah.
but
Which I know the label stuff was real big, you know, back in like the 80s.
Yeah, definitely less so now.
Yeah.
The label thing definitely changed a lot. I mean, the industry's changed a lot, but I don't know. I wasn't around, you know, back in the heyday. So, but
yeah,
I
was
think
a lot different.
It tends to be kind of like oh, you know, it's so bad now. It was so good back in the day, and every generation said that as far back as Christ. So it's like, you know, it's like that's at some point, like it's usually trending up. So
Yeah.
So,
But I know also back in the 80s, I know the local band around here, Kicks, them guys had talked about, you know, they were in so much debt with the record company till, you know, Blow My Fuse, and all they did was break even with that album. So, you know, then you're looking at that also. So, you know,
yeah,
if you're damned if you
that's
do and
the
you're damned
thing.
if you don't.
I think a lot of people don't really understand the function of a record label. They're essentially a bank. So what they'll do is they'll say, hey, we'll sign the LA Maybe. If this was one of the old deals, you know, we'll sign you the LA Maybe. Here's your $100,000 advance for each of you, all five of you. So $500,000 advance. You know, make the album. We'll really all that's good stuff, right? And they send you on your way. And then the rock stars go out and they spend that $100,000 on Coke and Lamborghinis, and then they come back and they make a crappy album. And the record label's like, all right, time to sell this album, make our money back, and they don't do it. So that's the big issue that a lot of people ran into. Yeah. And now it's they don't like to take those risks as much anymore. So basically you have to already be successful. You have to basically come to them and say, hey, we're already making tons of money and we have tons of fans. Will you help us get to the next level? And then they still are like, I don't know, maybe not. But, you know, so it's not the days of them like, oh, you're good. Everyone's good. Who cares? Like, I mean, you need a lot more than good. You need proof. How good are you? How many seats did you sell at your last show? How many shows do you play? How many, you know, how fast did your tour sell out? How much merch do you? Those are things that these people are looking for. Not, are you good? That's subjective. Nobody cares. Man. So, because good is like the entry. Like, yeah, of course you're good. You better be good. Or why am I wasting my time even talking to you? So it has to be a whole lot more than you're good. And that's, I mean, you better be for sure. Otherwise, you can't even get the conversation going. So,
and that's probably been one of the things that I've enjoyed most about the last conversation we had with you a few months back, where you talked about producing, doing the videos, and how you guys are into it, and you're engaging your fan base, and you're growing your fan base. I mean, I'm watching those things behind the scene because, crap, that translates across every industry. That's just not to music. That's everywhere. If you want to make it, you better stink and do that stuff.
Yeah, we have sometimes we'll reach out and work with other people on certain things or whatever, and they almost always drop the ball. So we realize it's kind of like through that happening enough times, we just pretty much do everything ourselves now. So and the ball gets dropped a lot less, or if it does, at least we know who to blame.
And you can fix it at that point, right?
Yeah.
So Wes, do you want to ask him about the deal with the singer?
Yeah, I can't take the pressure. I've been trying to figure this out since we talked. I've watched the videos. I mean, so that's one of the things when I do the stupid elliptical machine, so I'm not as fat as I well, I'm still fat, but anyway, so when I do the elliptical machine, a lot of the times I'll have a video and watch your stuff. And when we talked with you last time, you said we got our old singer back. Well, what I'm seeing, I hear the same voice in Mr. Danger, in Oh Sugar, in the older videos, and I'm seeing Goliath now, and he's got all this hair, and the voice sounds the same. But there's a couple demo tracks on here that it doesn't sound like the same voice. Catch me up. I'm slow guy at the magic show right now.
So we labeled those demos, but those are actually the original releases of those songs with Goliath singing them. So those are so that's we just labeled them demos because we had so many people that knew us before Alvy requesting Peace of Mind be brought back because they, for whatever reason, do not like the way he sings that song at all. They much preferred Goliath's version, and we had a lot of people requesting that. So we were like, how do we put this back out there without going backwards? So we were like, oh, we'll just label it demo, just put it out there. So we did She's Reckless and that. There was Sweet was another one. We just didn't put that one on there. And there was a fourth song called Mistress, and Fake was also done, but we left all those off. So we just did the two of those, and we added it there. But yeah, it's a little confusing. But Goliath was our singer originally. We wrote over half of Dirty Damn Tricks with him. And then the pandemic happened, and then he left. We got Alvy. Alvy recorded it. We did like 2 or 3 shows, and then parted ways with him. And then got Goliath back and kind of been going ever since. We didn't want to make a big deal out of it because we knew, and this has been proven by the couple people that did find out. As soon as they found out Alvy's gone, we knew everyone would be like, "Well, this band's over." So we were like, "We just won't say anything because we know it's not." Because I know that I write the songs. So if anyone thinks that the songs are going anywhere, they're not. So, and if anyone thinks that the voice is any different, we started playing shows with Goliath without saying anything, and nobody said anything. Nobody said a word. They didn't know, and they could not look more different. They are polar opposites.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, if you didn't even know it was a different guy, like we're definitely just not going to say anything. So like, we're just going to keep going.
Well, I'm looking at the videos. I mean, I'm seeing the live stuff. I saw the show you guys did on the lake. I think I'm guessing that was Lake Hartwell where you guys were playing. Maybe not, but somewhere around Charlotte where you jumping off into the water after the set.
Oh, that was Oklahoma. Yeah.
Okay. So as I'm watching that, I'm looking, I'm going, shit, was he like locked away in prison for like 5 years and nobody let him cut his hair or shave and just this and that's all I had to go from was the video. So
you'd have to take a lot of fish oil to get your hair to grow that fast.
Yeah. But regardless, I mean, to your point, it's fantastic, and I could really care less. I was just trying to catch up because I'm scratching my head going, I don't understand.
All the validation we need happened on that Kiss cruise because we knew Bach was hanging around the boat. So we played Monkey Business all 3 sets. The first set he didn't hear it. The second set he heard it. He was and we didn't know how he'd react because he's one of the last true rock stars. He'd be the guy come storming in, stop playing my song, or he could be the guy being like super happy about it. Well, it turns out he was super stoked. He's one of the nicest guys. He was so sweet. And we heard through his son. His son was just a firecracker running around. He's like 9, running around the boat, just as big of a personality as Bach. His son told us that he heard it and really liked it. So we're like, oh, that's cool. And then we get in an elevator. It's me, Foz, our drummer, Sebastian Bach, his family, and their whole crew. So we're all stuffed in this elevator together. And first of all, the elevator door's shut, and his wife goes, "I guess the gang's all here." And they were just constantly busting his balls about Skid Row, and he was getting so funny. It was so funny. But he turns around and he points at me and he goes, "Are you the guy that sang Monkey Business as good as I do?" And I go, no, that was my singer, but I'll introduce you to him. We were going upstairs to watch Bruce Cooley. So we all get up there. Goliath's already there in the artist area. So we all walk in, and I pull Goliath over to Bach, and I go to Bach, say, "Bach, hey, this is Goliath. This is the guy we're talking about." And I step back. And as I step back, Goliath, I hear Bach lean down to Goliath and go, "Dude, you are fucking awesome."
That's very cool.
So I was like, yeah, cool. If anyone has any issues about Goliath singing, it's not Sebastian Bach. So we'll take that. That's for sure. By the way,
it's one thing if Wes said he's cool, whole different level when Sebastian said he's cool.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Goliath was just floating on air because he loves Sebastian Bach. But yeah, it was Bach, by the way, still rips. His voice is still awesome.
Yeah,
we saw him two years ago, I think, was at the M3 festival when he did that set. And he actually sounded pretty good that day.
Yeah. Everything I heard him do on the boat, and I know for a fact he just rolled out of bed and did it. was awesome. It was super good. And he basically played just a bunch of Skid Row songs and some other stuff. But
And I mean, I'll give him props too. He's the real deal. There's no tapes or none of that stuff. What you hear, I mean, what he does, what you hear is what you get.
yeah, sure. Yeah, they're in that kind of feud with Ronnie Radke, and he made some funny jokes about that on stage too. It was funny.
So
So
the last time we talked with you, you were about to play the show with Faster Pussycat and LA Guns in Charlotte. And you mentioned having to move. Did you have to use the joke you had kind of in your back pocket ready to go to say, hey, weren't you the guy that almost made Guns N' Roses? Did you have to do that, or did you?
Yeah, we were we were definitely cracking jokes. What's funny, there's an update on that. We played the show, it was great. And Tracy Guns is on the boat with us. And I just see him sitting at a different table, and I see he's in a quick lull because everybody's always talking to everybody. He's in a quick lull. So I lock eyes with him. I go, Tracy Guns, and I walk up to him and I say, hey, what's up? You know, we're the LA maybe. We played with you back in August or whatever it was. And he was like, oh yeah, I remember. So we started talking. He's one of the nicest I've ever talked to. So I say, hey man, we're playing up, you know, later tomorrow if you want to come by. He was like, yeah, I'll definitely come by. I was like, you want to jam? He was like, yeah, let's jam. So we brought Tracy Guns up and we played Communication Breakdown together. That was super fun. And then
that's cool.
As we're orchestrating here, just let me put my number in your phone and I'll just, you text me when you're ready and we'll come up and do that. So I'm sitting here throughout the boat, phone, Tracy Guns coming up my phone. I'm like, that's pretty weird. And, we have we really hit it off, and he was super nice to us. He gave us a lot of good advice, and just was a really kind, easygoing guy. And he was having a blast on the boat because he wasn't. LA Guns played week 1. He was just there week 2. He didn't have any obligations, so he was just running around, just having a blast. And so yeah, we're having him actually tomorrow when we record our episode of the podcast. He's going to be our guest tomorrow, so we're excited about that.
Very, very
That's
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
So he must have got over the marquee then.
Yeah. I don't know. It must not have come from him because we were joking like we should tour together, and I was saying, you know, that poster designs itself, and he was like, "Fuck yeah!" He was like, "Maybe's way better than Guns." Like we were just going back and forth. Honestly, when you hear that kind of stuff, it's probably coming from management and stuff, you know.
Yeah, that's a PR move there, probably.
Yeah. So the first thing that happened to us when we're sitting in the artist area eating or whatever, and Sebastian Bach comes in, it's day 1. He walks right up to us. He goes, "Who are you guys?" We're like, "Oh, we're the LA Maybe." He goes, "Maybe? There's nothing maybe about rock and roll, man." We start laughing. He goes, "You're the LA for sure." And then he walks around. The rest of the time, everyone was calling us the LA for sure.
Well, we can hashtag that in your Facebook post and whatnot. That'll be
LA for sure.
LA
yeah,
for
everyone kept that. Our name apparently is a point of great interest to people. I don't understand why, but they kept asking us where we get our name from. And everyone seems to think we named it that way because like maybe we'll go to LA, which I think is kind of funny because it's not that hard to just get on a plane and go to LA. It's like a pretty low bar. But yeah, that always one person, I forget who it was, one person actually guessed how we got our name like properly. He was like, "Oh, the old phrase, right?" I was like, "That's the only person I've ever heard of." Ask him what's up with the elf stuff. Okay, I don't know what that is.
I'm wondering if that is referring back to some Tracy Guns comment, because before that we had one about Electric Gypsy.
Electric Gypsy.
I couldn't tell you anything about that for sure. I can text him and ask though.
Well, there's some fodder for your podcast tomorrow if you want to do it.
I know, right? I don't even know what to ask. We're just probably going to talk about the Kiss Cruise.
Yeah. Absolutely thrilled. So you've got basically the whole month of December you're going to be in the UK, right?
Yeah.
And when we talked to you before, that was kind of hush hush. You couldn't really talk about it. You were about to make the announcement. Spill the beans now. It's out there.
Yeah, we'll be in the UK pretty much all of December, and all those dates are up now for sale. It's lamaybe.com/UK tour. If you're listening from over there right now, do you want to get tickets? Those are available. And we're probably coming somewhere near you for sure. It's a small country anyway, so if we're flying, 5,000 miles, you can drive 100, I guess.
So you guys will be the headliner, and do you have like local acts that'll be opening up, or you have the details
Yep.
on those?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Except for the first date, we're doing the Winter Rocks Festival.
Oh, okay.
So we're not the big headliner there. We're the one below it, the Direct Sport. So other than that, yeah, it's going to be super exciting. We're going back to a couple of the places we've been, but most of the places are new. And yeah, we couldn't be more excited to get over there and get back to some rock and roll.
Yeah,
So,
it'd be good to hit new spots where you haven't been and get some more fans to join in. So
yeah, for sure. And it seems to be just kind of picking up where we left off, because we had a lot of people asking us to come back and all that good stuff. So it seems to be going good. We had rehearsal today, and we worked out a brand new original and a new cover to throw in the set over there to keep people interested. So we got a lot of new, kind of a totally new set we're working out over there.
very cool.
So are y'all? Does it seem like y'all are going over good in UK then?
Yeah, definitely. They like us over there a lot, for sure.
Cool.
Do you do meet and greets and whatnot? When Hop and I saw Blacktop Mojo a couple months back, we did the meet and greet before, whatever it was called, VIP, whatever. Are you guys doing a lot of that? Are you getting some traction there?
We never really organized those. I guess we should think about doing that. But no, we just we're pretty easy to meet and greet. We're usually just standing around. You can come up and talk to us. So it's not we're not hiding out or anything usually.
I think in complete transparency, they do it for gas money or diesel money in their case for the bus. And I think they're open about that. But it's a dedicated.
Sure, yeah, it's like a donation thing for sure. Yeah, I have nothing against it at all. It makes sense. We could probably do it too.
For me, I guess the perspective is it was some one-on-one time. I mean, we got to talk with Chuck a little bit afterward and so on when everything's going, but it was some not really one-on-one, but it was a smaller group time, and it was kind of cool, and it was certainly worth the extra 25, 30, whatever bucks.
Yeah.
For a little bit of exclusivity. So
yeah, that's awesome.
As importantly, gosh, the connection, a kind of bought in loyal fan base, not just the weirdo groupies like us holding up your CDs. It's like, oh yeah, we got to talk with Dallas Dwight.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
So
for sure. Yeah, we've definitely talked about doing stuff like that, and it's just tough to organize when you're dealing with so many different moving parts overseas and stuff.
Sure.
So did you go ahead,
Chris? Sorry.
I was gonna say, so y'all have like a booking company that helps get all that lined up for you then?
Yeah. Yep, we're working with one over there. Yep. They're called Upstaged Limited. So they kind of handle UK stuff.
And that's the same ones you worked with before then?
No, we were with a company called TKO before, who I would not recommend.
All right.
They're a pretty big agency. They work with like Buckcherry and stuff like that. I still wouldn't recommend them. They really bungled our last tour, but we made it work anyway. So,
well, that's the main thing. As long as you can overcome the differences.
Yeah. Like I said, we have people drop the ball all the time, so we just take the reins ourselves and make it happen. But it seems like they were trying their hardest to make us not go over there at all, and we were just like, it's not happening. So we just ended up, we just stopped talking to them and just did everything ourselves and went that route. And because they were big roadblocks, we got over there and there was people that thought like we were really like dicks because of certain things, and it was like, no, not us. We were talking through someone else. So this middle guy was messing everything up.
Yeah, that kind of sucks too, because you're kind of left with the ball, and somebody's done dropped the ball, and you have no control over it at all.
Well, and it's worse because your name is the name on the tour. They have no idea who's behind the scenes actually making the decisions that make you look bad. So it's like we had to cancel an Edinburgh date. We were pulled off of an Edinburgh date. We just saw an email that said, hey, you're no longer on these dates. And we saw the list. And then we get a bunch of people from Edinburgh. There's my drummer replying right there. Foz. And we had a bunch of comments from people in Edinburgh being like, you guys cancel, like that's so lame. Why would you do that to your fans? Blah, blah. I had to do like customer service damage control for like a week dealing with that. Like having detailed explained to people like, dude, we had nothing to do with it. You think we just up and decided like, fuck Edinburgh? Like, no, like it's not how this works. Like why that doesn't even track logically why we would do that. So like if we had to cancel a date, it was for a good reason. And our reason was we were told we weren't playing it. That was it. I have no idea, It's just like, okay, I'm not going to go anyway. Maybe we should have, but that's kind of how it worked out.
Now, do you have? I mean, I know it's still a little bit of ways away, but is it much touring going on in the States when y'all get back, or are you gonna start working on a new album?
Yeah, we're working on new music, 2023, and yeah, we're not. We don't have any touring plans right now, so we're gonna sit at home and work on some music and hit the internet side of things pretty hard, because this year we hit the live thing pretty hard, and it's very expensive. So we're gonna try to put our money in places where we can maybe get a better ROI.
Yeah, but you've had a pretty good. I mean, you've had a pretty good run here lately, so you got to be.
It does seem that way on the surface, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Our bank accounts don't necessarily reflect that, though. So that's what we're working on.
Well, that's true. But I mean, yeah, as
You
far
see,
as the outside,
you see bands touring the UK or going to LA and doing this and that, and then just reverse it. Just quickly look up those plane costs for 5 people. Just quickly do that, and you'll right away be like, oh, there's no way they're making money. Like,
yeah.
So that's what we've spent a fortune in plane and travel costs this year alone. So I mean, multiple 5 figures. So we're ready to put that money into, if we had put multiple 5 figures into our internet marketing, we'd be in a different place right now for sure. So that's kind of the game we're going to play in 2023, and we'll get back to you in 2024 and let you know how it went.
Now, I'm assuming you're still going to do some playing out around the Charlotte area, though, right?
Yeah, well, that's how we make our money. So yeah, we'll have to keep the shows going, doing the local cover shows. On the surface, it might seem a little lame, but it keeps the money train going, and we have no hotels, no gas to speak of, no flights, nothing. We just out back, sleep in your own home that night, and you put some money in the account to keep everything going, because it's takes some money to get where you're going for sure.
Now, how far out of Charlotte do y'all play?
It just depends, but usually not too far. It will go maybe up to an hour, in the state for sure. Yeah. So most of the time we have a bunch of different venues around here that love us, so they keep us on kind of a rotation. And our local cover shows are very different than if you actually see a true LA maybe show. So we're playing, 3 sets, mostly covers. We're not going ballistic and headbanging like crazy a lot of times. So it's a lot more laid back. But the nice thing is we have our merch stand set up, and so people will come up and be like, "Oh, you played Bruno Mars. I love that song." We're like, "Cool, buy our CD." And then they kind of get into our world, So it kind of.
Do you really enjoy that?
Yeah, I have a blast doing it. Yeah, I when we started learning all the variety stuff, I just became so much of a better guitar player so fast, because you have to play. Being a one-trick pony to me has always been so boring, and we don't. The other thing is, if you were to ride with us in our van, we never listen to rock music. It's so weird. We're always listening to anything but. It's like it's like an accountant doesn't go home and do accounting for fun.
Well, this is true. I guess
rock and roll is our job, so we love to listen to other stuff when we're, we've got a decent handle on rock and roll. We're like to listen to other shit for sure.
Well, it puts your mind in a different place too, and it helps probably in your writing and creative process. You hear little things of like, wow, let me figure out how to put that into something that we do.
Yeah, we do a lot of that as well. But also when you get off stage and your ears are ringing and you're sweating and you just loaded up the trailer, the last thing you want to do is like, made it. Like, no, dude. put on fucking John Mayer. Let's chill out. Like, come on. Like, we're not doing this right now. Come on.
Yeah, I guess me and String are like that at some of the shows. You come home and it's like you've just seen, 2 hours of, I don't know, say, like you said, say Maiden. Yeah, usually we're like chilled, maybe some Southern rock or something like that, a little bit more chill stuff.
Yeah, we have really eclectic tastes. It's kind of all over the place.
Yeah, I guess we're all like that in our own little ways. I mean, I could listen just about anything. I'm not a big fan of bluegrass, but I could pretty much listen to just about everything else. I do like the musical part. It's just the vocals that usually get me on the bluegrass. But
oh yeah, for sure. The twangy. Yep. I gotcha.
So do y'all want to wrap this up, or do y'all have any more questions?
Well, I think we nailed all the heads of the nails down. I think that'll leave us something for the next time. Next
Yeah.
year, some point in time, we'll get back with you and get some maybe some updates on album release and see
Yeah,
where we
yeah,
are and whatnot. So that'd be very cool.
So
Love to.
I think the website, the link I've got right up in the comment right there is correct. lamaybe.com UK tour.
That's the one.
So if you're seeing this and you're not familiar with them, check that you've got some videos on the site. I mean, plenty on YouTube as well. But what a killer CD. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking you could probably still coerce them to get you a signed copy as well.
Yep.
And to your point with the merch, I mean, at the end of the day, part of why we get so excited about doing this is how can we help you? Because we see you
Yeah.
working hard. And I get it. I mean, my wife and I do an event 2 weeks ago. We had about 225 or so folks in it, and people are like, wow, you're doing really good. And I'm going, you know what it takes for 2 people to put on this stinking event? So
Yeah.
it's like, well, really good's relative. Like, it's damn hard. So we're thrilled to chat with you, more thrilled to see the progression and the opportunities for you guys. I mean, that was where I was most excited about getting
Yeah,
to
we're
chat.
excited. We'll see what 2023 holds. So we're excited.
Outstanding, sir. Well, hang around with us just for a second if you got it. I'll close out the live feed and we'll go from there.
Yeah, sounds good.
Guys, thanks
All
for
right.
watching.
Thank you.